Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video featuring yours truly, hurrah! So, kind of hold back your expectations a little bit. Now, in this video I'm actually going to be showing some replays in tanks that are not fully upgraded because, you know, everyone loves playing through stock grinds. And often more experienced players tend to burn free XP to ensure they don't have to do stock grinds. And that is definitely a worthwhile cause, trying to save your free XP for those modules that make grinds really painful without them. But in these three games that I've got for you here, we are doing matches in tanks that, whilst not completely 100% unupgraded, they are also not fully upgraded. Generally only, in fact in each of these cases, only using modules that we have unlocked from previous tanks that we've played, so no free XP has been burned on any of these three machines. Kicking off with the Sherman FIrefly Tier 6, a British medium tank, and we are here in a Tier 8 match. Ooh, there's a great start for us, isn't it? And it is here on, is this Kharkov? Yes, Kharkov. So, city map, Tier 8 match, unupgraded Tier 6 medium tank. Sounds like a great start. Now, the unupgraded Sherman FIrefly does have one advantage over its fully upgraded counterpart, gun depression. The 17-pounder gun that this thing uses as its top gun gives you 5 degrees of gun depression, and you get more with the stock, quote-unquote, 76mm. Now, this gun you can have unlocked on the Sherman 3 at Tier 5. Definitely worth doing, even if you don't wish to use that gun on the Sherman 3. We'll take that bounce, because then you can use it here on FIrefly, which makes your grind significantly more comfortable than if you're using the, I think it still gets the stock 75mm gun as an option. Not one that I'd recommend, but it is an option. So here we are just taking hilarious advantage of this poor Cromwell. Can we pick up the kill? Yes we can. There's kill numero uno. And we are bottom tier here, so we are just trying to help out our team wherever we can. T3485M, another tier 6 that we can pick on. And just a word here about the matchmaking. Yes, this is a tier 8 match, and yes, that is annoying. And with the new 357 relatively new 357 matchmaking template that Wargaming introduced, it is increasingly common that you are bottom tier. However, there is a caveat here. Although it is increasingly common that you're bottom tier, when you are bottom tier, it's not as bad as it used to be, because there are only going to be at maximum, if it's a 357 matchup, 3 top tier heavy tanks. So, ISU-152, M41 Walker Bulldog, and SU-14-2 in this case, none of them have much armour to work with. So actually, we have a reasonable chance of having a semi-decent game, because we can pretty much pen everything just knowing where to aim and without using sorry, I was about to say APCR, but this thing doesn't get APCR as its premium round. He says as we bounce repeatedly on a T3485M. That thing can be quite irritating and bouncy. We'll take that shot, and there we go, we bounce again. So I've got on board of dealing with the T3485M there. So we're just going to relocate and see if there's anyone else that we can shoot up. So currently up to 691 damage done. So almost received a fire for effect ribbon, which is something that is definitely worth aiming for in, well, every match in the tanks you play. Can we finish this guy off? No, the VK beats us to it. So he's dead. Scoreline is 8-5. Our team does appear to be winning this. We're trying to help out wherever we can. I mean, I'm not expecting us to be the deciding factor in whether our team wins this or not, but the more you do, then the better the chances your team have of winning. So, just trying to do whatever we can. Jumbo over there, and an M41 Walker Bulldog. Type 58 and BK are going for them. The Bulldog, since it got modified, no longer packs that 10-round magazine, so he is a less intimidating target than he once was. But we're still going to go around and try and deal with him, and if memory serves, yeah, this Sherman's got himself into a spot of bother. He's actually managed to flip himself, so we're just going to take advantage of this. The player is still there, so the problem with going after the Bulldog at this point, wow, we bounced off his underneath armour. The problem with going after the Bulldog at this point is that that guy would still be able to shoot me in the rear. Hello, Mr. Bulldog. So in that case, it was actually worth making sure that we were dealing with the Jumbo first. Managed to put one shot into the Bulldog there, turning around to try and deal with the AMX because we do not want to take an autoloader up the wazoo. And then turn back around to see if we can help out this Type 58 with the Bulldog. Type 58 unfortunately dies, and that was a terrible shot. I misjudged where the wall was. But in a straight-up engagement here, I have a significant health advantage over the Bulldog. So even though he's 2 tiers higher than me, he doesn't have much in the way of armour. And if he's going to poke like that, well, he's a bit of a wombat. My point is, I could probably try and rush this guy down in order to kill him, but at the moment, entertainingly enough, there is a Lorraine artillery piece who seems to have plans to drive up to him and blat him in the face. So I might as well wait for him to turn up, and then the two of us can go together. There we go. We put one shot into the Bulldog, even set him on fire. Looks like he's running an automatic fire extinguisher. But basically, why go alone when you can go with a friend? And as it is, we actually managed to kill the guy without taking a hit from him, just taking a tiny little bit of damage there for the ram. So that ended up being a much safer way of dealing with that fellow that didn't involve the loss of any tanks on our team. Now the enemy have a Comet and an ISU-152 remaining. The ISU is on very, very low health, so this should be a wrapped up game. Having said that, the ISU, assuming he's running the big gun, of course, can still kill people with a single shot. In fact, with a high damage roll, he can kill anyone on this team in a single shot, because ISU-152 things. Comet over there also doesn't have a huge amount of health remaining, and there we go, the ISU actually ammo racks the Churchill 7, just to really add insult to injury. And we're going to head in that direction to try and finish these guys off. Now, this victory is not a foregone conclusion, but we do have our artillery who has decided he's not colossally useful in a city. And he doesn't have much health, so what he's going to do, he's going to sit in the capture circle. Not a bad plan. AMX 1375 and the Comet engage, and it looks like the French tank is going to be able to kill the Brit, not having taken any damage, which is awesome, and that just leaves this ISU-152. He's probably going to be looking in the direction of that AMX as he saw that engagement, or would have been aware of that engagement take place. So we are going to try and come up behind him and give him a swift rogering. So, where has this guy disappeared? Oh no, I'm being funneled in front of him, but there we go. One shot into the flank. This guy might try and swing round, but not before I'm able to put a second shot in and pick up the kill. And that is the game. 15-11 in our favour. So let's go and take a look at the post-game stats. So that ended up being enough for First Class Mastery, Fire for Effect, that Master Gunner, Duelist, Bruiser, a Lavashlios medal for killing a couple of higher tier tanks, and a Kamikaze for ramming a higher tier tank to death. Always entertaining to pick up those medals. Finished top of the team by experience earned, 1683 damage, 3 kills, 949 base experience. There isn't anything we did in that game that we couldn't really have done in the fully upgraded Firefly, as we didn't require the decent gun depression, but nonetheless it still ended up being a fairly decent game from our perspective. Commiserations to the enemy ISU, who managed to finish top of his team, but it just wasn't enough for them to pick up the win. 25 shots fired, 19 hits, 14 penetrations for that damage count. 4 hits received, all of them bounced, which is very unusual, though bearing in mind we were side scraping. Basically it was shots that bounced off of our highly angled side armour while we were dealing with that T-34-85M. So while you can't really rely on your armour in these situations, you might as well still angle it. I mean, why not? With a standard account, that was 17,000 credit profit. We were running reserves at the time, so we actually made around about 3,000 XP. At the time, we were grinding out for the British tank destroyers, so that was a valuable experience. So that was our first game down here at Tier 6. The second 2 matches are going to be up at Tier 9. Game number 2 then, and I'm driving the Tier 9 German medium tank, the Leopard prototype. Again, not upgraded, so this is not the top engine, I think it's the stock or middle engine or something. Stock turret, and the 90mm gun from the Indian Panzer, which on this tank is bleeding awful. Add to that we are in a tier 10 match on Mines. Mines is a map that, in my opinion, you should never get above about tier 5. But there we go, we're on. And it's the south spawn, i.e. the rubbish spawn. So things are really kind of stacked against us. Actually, interestingly, if you look at the matchmaking, although this is strictly speaking the 3-5-7 matchmaking template, presumably the matchmaker has kind of struggled to make the match because it's actually 3-4-8. There are only 4 tier 9s on each team and 8 tier 8s. So there is that. Initially we try to come up here to see if we can do anything about vaguely contesting the hill, but it's going to be awkward. We're probably not going to achieve a huge amount. We put a shot into that Scorpion, get a little bit of assistance damage on the Scorpion, and I am shortly going to decide that this is not a cool place to hang out. Let's go somewhere else. Would have been really nice to help that Batchat up on the hill, especially as once he's emptied his magazine, he is essentially defenseless, but I don't think I can get up there without losing all or most of my health and just being another kill for the T62A and now a pair of Carnarvons and a T34. I just don't think that's going to end well. And actually, our Batchat, I mean, you might mock him for crashing, but he tried to get off the hill because he saw the writing on the wall. He just crashed in the process. So, don't want to be too harsh on him for that decision, although I would say going for the hill in a Batchat without much support from the south spawn, probably not the smartest idea. So as it is, our team has successfully managed to take out 2 of the 3 enemy artillery pieces. Now, artillery isn't the most powerful on Mines, but it can be pretty unpleasant. We have lost, however, a Batchat 12T, Stridsvagn S1 and our Batchat 25T in the process. Now, what is it that I'm trying to do here? Well, I'm trying to make myself useful. The enemy team have taken the hill, which means they're probably going to be trying to spot our artillery and tank destroyers and all that jazz, which means they're probably going to be up along this side of the hill. So I'm just running along the bottom of the hill, keeping myself within proxy spotting range of all of these fellows, trying to give our tank destroyers and artillery an opportunity to land some shots, put some damage in, land some kills on these guys, and I will hopefully pick up, goodbye Mr. T62A, some assistance damage in the process. So we're currently up to just shy of 400 assistance damage, which is not hugely impressive, but it has resulted in the death of that T62A, which I will definitely take as a success. That guy is potentially very dangerous. Not having him around is definitely to our advantage. So there's also that we saw a Carnarvon, never mind, there's another 200 assistance, and a T34 up here on this hill. The other Carnarvon appears to have gone round the other side. So, trying to see if people can land some shots on that T34. I, meanwhile, am seeing if it is now vaguely safe to go up onto the hill. That T10 over to sort of E4 is quite possibly still there. But I'm thinking if I can avoid getting spotted as I come up here, and you can see this thing without the top engine is a bit sluggish, and actually the T10 has moved, then I might be able to do some good work on the hill. Now, although I'm stock, I should be able to deal with this T34, especially if he's not even looking the right way. Hello. Goodbye. And now our team has the hill. Hurrah! And there's a rock, because I am such a pro driver. Hugging this rock a little bit because I don't want to get completely nuked by artillery. Obviously, I would have been spotted at this point. Scoreline is 6-3. There goes the Leopard prototype on the enemy team. 7-3, 8-3. Goodbye T30. And at this point, I'm trying to see if I can provide some vision, some range for my team over towards their inevitable camping tank destroyers and artillery. Hello, Mr. Scorpion G. Now, I get spotted out for this. I don't really want to hang around. I'm more interested in my allies polishing this Scorpion off. Because if I hang around, then that's Scorpion and... we don't know who else might be up there. Not the Badger, but we don't know who else might be up there. And I don't want to get slapped in the face by all those fellows. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Badger. So, picked up some assistance. Sorry. Some assistance damage there on that Scorpione. Don't know why I said that in a weird way. Going for some shots on that T10. I take a hit from the Scorpion in the face, which is kind of irritating. I was trying to keep that rock on the edge of the hill between myself and him, but it didn't quite work out as I wanted. Would still be nice to get some shots onto that T10, but it looks like the T10 might be going for the hill, which is an interesting decision at this point. There is a Death Star up here with me. I'm not entirely sure this is really what he wants to do. Put one shot into him, he puts one into me. My reload should beat his. The reload with the 90mm gun on this thing isn't fantastic, but good enough to beat his 122 reload. Going for the tracking shot again, and we'll try that a third time. There's 3 shots into him in exchange for 1 shot from him into me. And at this point we can take another hit in the face if we have to. And we do. He takes out my ammo rack, I repair the ammo rack. Artillery finishes him off, and there's some more assistance damage for me. Used most of my health, most of my remaining health in that engagement, to the point that most, depending on the guns they're using, most or all of the enemy tanks can now one-shot me. So we do need to be a little bit careful. We have also lost a couple of tanks ourselves, leaving the score currently 10-7, but I thought it was worth taking out that T10, and I thought that was a reasonable trade. Obviously, I didn't want to take the shots from the T10, but I thought, given how the match is going, I thought it was worth trading away some of my health for a kill on him. And I don't pick up the kill in the end. Our artillery does, but the long and the short of it is he is dead. Artillery then takes out the Scorpion G, and with him dead, there's only 3 tanks left on the enemy team, and that includes a full health, or close to full health, IS-3 going for our base by the look of it. Try a blind shot. Ooh, we've just lost our Carnarvon. And we're going to see if we can spot this guy, get some damage put onto him, either from us or from our spotting. That would be nice. If he's going to poke his head around... Oh, there's the TVP as well, and there's the enemy artillery. So we now know where all of the remaining enemies are. IS-3 looks like he has come out and exposed himself, so going for a bum shot. There we go. We put one in. There's the TVP. I have been spotted, which is something to bear in mind, but it looks like this IS-3 is way more interested in just going for our T-28 or something. And now I want to see if I can put some shots in this TVP, on this TVP, sorry, without exposing myself to the IS-3 too much. And there we go. We managed to pick up the kill on that medium tank and give our Death Star a bit of a hand in the process. Artillery is dead, so that just leaves this IS-3 remaining. Ooh, someone missed there. We might be able to get another hit into him before he dies. I don't think we'll pick up the kill, but let's try for another hit. There we go. We managed to get the tracking shot on him as well, so there's a little bit more assistance damage as once more our artillery polishes off the target we were shooting. And there we go. That is the match. Not necessarily a spectacular game, but just one where we were trying at every instance to make ourselves useful, and I think the key thing there was just proxy spotting the people on that hill once the enemy team had taken that hill, to try and give our team as much of an edge as we could and give our tank destroyers and artillery something to do. So there we go. Once again, let's go and have a look at the post-battle stats for the match. Here we are then. That game was enough for second class mastery, spotter, master gunner and fire for effect ribbons. Nothing spectacular, but then once again we weren't fully upgraded, so definitely take it. 1,848 damage done, 2 kills, 922 base XP puts us at the top of our team, which is fairly nice. Having a look at the enemy team, I think it's quite telling that in a tier 10 match, 2 of the top 3 tanks on their team are tier 8s. So we've got the Badger, he did 2,500 damage, which is The GWE-100 on that map, 2,500 damage and 2 kills from him isn't too bad, but their T-62A, 2k damage, he died relatively early on, partly because of our spotting. So I think that was definitely a valuable kill to pick up. 11 shots fired, 9 hits, 9 pens for that damage count. 487 from a larger distance. 3 hits received, none of them bounced because the armour on the Leopard prototype is woeful. 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 5 damage, 2 destroyed, 1,766 assistance damage, 2.25 kilometers travelled, and with all things totaled, that was a 16,500 credit profit, which was nice, bearing in mind that included around about 4,000 credits for it being Christmas. And also a little bit of extra XP for it being Christmas, so we made a good amount of XP in the process. I have since unlocked the top gun on this thing, which is a bit punchier, but the soft stats are still pretty painful. The reload is glacial, and yeah, go figure. Anyway, that was the second match. I've saved what is, in my opinion, the most entertaining game for last. So, once more this video, let's go and see what it is I've managed to be getting up to in my not upgraded tanks. So here we go in the Chinese tier 9 heavy tank, the WZ-11111111114. Sorry, had to. It's a tier 10 match, but this is not 357, this is 510 matchmaking. There are 5 tier 10s on each team. Now you may be slightly balking at my equipment choice here. Why on earth is he running a binos and camo net? That is very simply because with this tank at this time, as you can see, so firstly I'm using the 100mm gun from the 110, I'm using the stock turret, which basically looks like an IS-3 turret. This is the top engine from the 110, which I believe is the intermediate engine on the WZ. And this is the stock suspension. And on the stock suspension, you don't have the weight limit to mount very much at all. So I believe, if memory serves, I was using, I think it was a gun rammer at the time. Plus, the only other bits of equipment that I had the weight allowance for were binos and camo net. Yes, I know it's not optimal, but grinding this thing out stock. When I say grinding, if it's a stock tank, generally I'll just play it for the daily double or the daily ×5 or something. I do not do hard stock grinds, I don't see the point. Yes, so we're just, like, camo net and binos is better than nothing, basically. Yes, in an ideal world I'd be using a toolbox, but the suspension doesn't have the weight allowance for a toolbox. So, I decided, given that the WZ is relatively fast in a straight line, and I'm not fully upgraded, I'd try and come up here and pretend that I'm a medium tank. WZ is pretty mobile, so that's definitely a valid thing to do. However, this is an Object 430, and I should feel out this game is taken from, I think it was patch 9.21 or something. So, and similar for the previous game, so this is before they reworked the Soviet, or some of the Soviet tech trees. So that Object 430 there, that is the tier 10 Object 430 with the blistering rate of fire and the fairly reasonable armour. T54 gets slapped in the face from a T110 E3, and thered be no point me even taking this shot. Well, I'm going for the tracking shot, but don't quite manage to land. Keeping an eye out for that Rheinmetall Panzerkampfwagen, tier 10 German light tank, gets stunned by artillery, and this is just an icky engagement. We've already lost 3 tanks. The other WZ, a T10 and a TVP T5051, so we've lost one of our top tier tanks already and 2 of our tier 9s. So this is an icky engagement. Not really liking it, so I'm going somewhere else. I might take a shot in the bum from this German light tank. I'm hoping not, and I actually managed to get away with it. So what do we have around door number 2? Well, there's a Death Star, and the Object 430 appears to have moved around there, so not really liking that either. However, if you have a look at the map, we have got a T10 and a T95. We do eventually take a shot from that German light tank, trying to hold back, well, over twice their number. Can we try and pick up the Rheinmetall? No. So, scoreline is 0-5, okay, 1-5. This is not looking good, and I've done nothing so far. But I decided to see what it is we can do. Okay, so the T95 is dead, the T10's going to follow shortly, there we go. Scoreline is 1-6. We're going to try and dig in and defend our base. These guys will have lost some health in the engagement, so let's see if we can take advantage of that. You know, try and make ourselves useful and see if we can pick up a win from this debacle. WZ down there is a one-shot for me, 320 alpha damage with this 100mm gun, but I don't have a shot on him. Take one on the T10 instead, but the other T10 puts a shot in the side of my turret, I think that was. Rolls, well, if he's got the top gun, oh, it's in the side of my hull. If he's got the top gun, that was a low damage roll. If he's using the gun from the IS-3, then that was a fractionally high damage roll. But there's 440 blocked from him, so that was just previously a low damage roll from the top gun. Can we deal with that T10? Yes, we can. And we bounce around from the E75. The arm on the WZ is interesting. The upper plate is not good. The lower plate is garbage. The turret is pretty decent, even when using the stock turret. So we're trying to use the deeply mediocre gun depression this tank has to stay hull down and try and deal damage where we can. We've managed to kill one of their tier 9 tanks, put a shot into a second, and we're trying to work over this E75. The DPM with this stock gun is marginally better than with the fully upgraded gun, though not by as much as you might think. Leave the E75, not the WZ, leaving him a one-shot. Our team has managed to pull it back a little bit, by the way, and they're even in the enemy cap, though I'm not expecting that to actually last long. Go for the shot on the E75, but it doesn't even hit, let alone penetrate. Switching to a PCR here to give us about 260 odd penetration, 265, and take the shot shortly after the GW Tiger puts his round in, so the E75 is dead either way. There's someone else in the cap circle though, that WZ-111. It'd be really nice if that guy could die. He decides he doesn't want to be there anymore, drives out of the capture circle, and I'm wondering at this point if it is worth me going down and just killing him. We are still outnumbered, we do need tanks to die. ML2 looked like he was moving around to support me, though he's really taking his time, so I decided to go around, kill this guy, and I actually managed to do it without taking any more damage. There was a T10 last spotted around here, so I'm being a little cautious. It looks like that ML2 is not coming around to, well, at least not immediately assist me, so I'm kind of on my own here. I've got 1,000 of my health left, roughly speaking. We've done over 2,000 damage here in a tier 10 match with our stock gun, and we've only fired one APCR round, and even that didn't actually do anything. Team has managed to pull back a bunch of kills though, so credit to the team, leaving the score lines currently tied. So we're going to push around here and see if we can find anyone, and oh god, that T10. So I would just like to point out something at this venture. He is fully upgraded with the 122mm gun that does 440 alpha damage. He has around about 1,400 hit points remaining. I have 1,000. These two tanks, the T10 and the WZ-111 1-4, are relatively comparable. They both get big derpy guns, pretty mobile, hull armor is fairly trashy, turret armor is pretty good. But he has the top gun, he has the top turret. He probably is running a full set of deep proper equipment. I am got none of the above. So, and he has the hit point advantage. So this is not an engagement that is likely going to go well, but let's just see what we can do. Backing off so that his gun depression fails him. We each put a round into each other. My reload is better, but I do not want to trade shot for shot with this guy because that's just not going to end well for me. I put one shot in that actually hits the dirt, take a hit from artillery there which stuns me and tracks me and takes out my driver, and then the T10 puts one into me, probably straight through my upper front plate, because the frontal plate on this tank is not fantastic. No! Gun mantlet, straight through the gun mantlet, there we go, stock turret for you, not perfect. Trying that again, we bounce that round, he puts another shot into me, so I repair my driver, but this is bad. He shot me, so I'm trying to use the reload on the gun to at least put some damage into him before he tries the same trick, and then we're going to back off. He puts a shot in, only takes out my tracks. I repair the tracks so that I can take advantage of my better reload to put more damage into him, put another shot into him, and then back off. He comes forward, and we're trying to wiggle here as much as we can. We each fire at the same time. He bounces on me. Ooh, not quite sure where that shot went, given that oh, no, there's a bounce off the upper frontal plate there. It's angled back, so I assume that provided enough armor to actually bounce the shot. We put a shot into him. We have a better reload because of the smaller caliber gun, so we're going for another round into him before aim it properly. He goes for me, trying to turret hug this guy, and then the ML2 comes around the corner to finish him off, and voila, one T10 successfully dealt with. And we say thank you in chat there. So that was a really interesting engagement there. It went hideously wrong to start off with, or rather it went more what you might expect when we started, and then as a one shot we were able to whittle off enough of that guy's health that the ML2 could just pop round the corner and do the last like 150 hit points to him with his shell. So that actually ended up being pretty decent. Now, we've got an FV-3805 and a Stridsvagn 1030 tier 9 tank destroyer, Swedish tank destroyer remaining. I'm loading a HE round, as I am expecting the next tank I'm going to be shooting is probably that Stridsvagn. Now, the Stridsvagn packs, I think it's 40mm of armour, sloped back at an auto bounce angle. There is one weak spot up on the top of the tank. There he is, almost on full health. So, here's the thing. If I fire AP at him and I do not hit that commander's weak spot thing, I will bounce. If I fire APCR at him and do not hit that commander's weak spot, I will bounce. If I fire HE, If I don't hit the commander's weak spot, I will still do some damage. If I do hit the commander's weak spot, that weak spot is weak enough that I can actually penetrate and do full damage. So here, HE is the better round to use. And actually, after this match, for reasons that will become apparent, I've started taking more HE rounds, even though 100mm HE at tier 9 is not particularly good. So, we know roughly where this TD is, and we know where their artillery is likely to be. The Art here is going to be trying to kill the TD without getting slapped by Arty. Arty kills the Leopard, so he's going to be on reload, and aiming for that weak point. We haven't been spotted yet. Take the shot. No idea if that actually penned or not. We now get spotted. Emil has gone in for some damages, going for that weak point again. Don't penetrate. Only 142 damage. He has fired. Emil has his magazine, but it's a 120mm magazine, going for the tracking shot there to try and allow Emil to shoot him again, which means he can't overmatch that guy's upper plate, and he actually, we bounce a shot there, he actually manages to fail to kill the guy, has to reload, and then I'm able to land a shot through the guy's weak point just before the artillery kills me. So, yeah, we get taken out by artillery, which is a little bit sucky. Emil 2 is going for a reload here. He was reloading some time ago. Their artillery is reloading. The Emil really should just be going for this. He will reload his magazine before the artillery reloads his gun, if he'd gone for it straight off. However, I'm not convinced if that's any more going to be the case. There's the FV-3805, and the Emil doesn't really want to seem to hang around or seem to want to. Actually, the artillery lands the shot there to leave this FV-3805 on just over 100 health. Either the artillery or the Emil can take this guy out with one shot, but our Emil is on such low health that the enemy can probably kill him with one shot, and most likely doesn't even have to directly hit. Just lands somewhere in the vague vicinity. There's the FV, and the Emil actually finishes him off in the end, and there we go. It's a win for us. So, once again, for the last time this video, let's go and check out the post-game stats. So, that was enough for Second Class Mastery, Master Gunner, Fire for Effect, Sharpshooter, and Bruiser. And also, this game was done over Christmas, hence the New Year's bustle things down the bottom. Ended up doing 4,137 damage. If we go back a little bit, we'll see that we hit 3 shots on that Stridsvagn, so that blind shot did actually hit, hence the slightly higher damage count. 4,137, not 73 damage done, 3 kills, 1,153 base experience, finished at the top of our team by either damage or by XP, which was a really nice result there to have in a not fully upgraded WZ. And I'm actually liking this tank. I think I'll like it a lot more when it is fully upgraded, but I'm still kind of liking it even though it is not. And we only actually fired 1 round of APCR that match, which didn't do anything anyway, so it's not as if we were even spamming gold to compensate. 22 shots fired, 20 hits, 15 pens for that damage count. 9 hits received, 4 penetrated, 5 did not, 3 splash damage, 1,760 damage blocked by our armour, which, given that the armour on the WZ isn't amazing, is none too shabby. 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, 350 assistance damage, and we made a small credit loss that game, but I'll be honest, I really... Edit the sneeze out. I really didn't care. Throw some XP in there, and we got ever closer to unlocking the upgraded suspension to allow us to mount more equipment. So there we have it. 3 games in tanks that are not fully upgraded, and not necessarily just in an ideal situation either. That WZ game at the end, we were down at the beginning, we got ourselves into a bad engagement with a T10, yet somehow we came out swinging and managed to beat the guy with a little help right at the end. But, yeah, all in all, I thought that ended up going pretty well. So, I hope you guys enjoyed those games. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.